You can see here. You can see it says 70. Alright. So on that particular date, how much you have scored, it will tell you that. Secondly, suppose there are 2 billion people across world who are using IPM. So it will also tell you among those 2 billion people who are using IPM, where is your knowledge level. Alright. So when you go for the jobs, when you share your CVs with the interviewer, what you can do is you can always share this score sheet with the interviewer. Alright, so they will come to know among all those 2 billion people or 3 billion people, whatever number of people are using IKM across globe, where you stand among them. And that's how your packages will be decided. One more good thing, IKM, it will never tell you whether you have passed or failed. The purpose of this particular assessment is to let you know how much of knowledge you have about a particular technology. So say for example, every subject will have subtopics, correct? So IKM, what it does is, it always tells you how you have performed subtopic wise. So you can know where you are strong, where you are weak. And good thing is this score sheet what I am talking about, since as I said now, IKM is a US based company. It operates in US, South Africa, Australia, Austria, Switzerland, UK, of course in India. So it carries these score sheets what I am sharing with you, it carries the same weightage across world. Alright, what I am suggesting you here is whenever or wherever you are sharing your CVs in future, always attach its score sheet. I'll tell you an example. There is a college called PCCOE College in Pune. The full form is 50th Institute College of Engineering. Sometime in the month of December last year, a student was offered a package of 7 lakh from TCS. In the month of March, she went back to the HR and shared this ITM score sheet with them without asking any question. That 7 lakh became 10 lakhs. This is the kind of weightage I am talking about. Alright? So this is again included as a part of your program, basically the campus to corporate program what I am talking about. I think you have got internships in your academics?
Yes.
Good. So in your programs, this campus to corporate program what I am talking about, your internships will also be taken care of. And mind you, these are not simulated environment we are talking about. Alright, we are talking about real time basically requirements. Last 17, 18 years, whatever projects we have implemented, the same requirement will be shared with you. There will be people who will be assisting you. And mind you, I am sure if you are familiar with the term security, if you have attended some kind of workshop, you may have heard the term Kali Linux. Most of the hackers will always talk about Kali. The reason it is freely available. Of course, we will talk about Kali, but we are talking about advanced tools also. There is a tool called Ekahu. Have you heard this term? There is a tool called Air Magnet, NMAG. These are basically advanced tools. Ekahu and Air Magnet basically is used for Wi-Fi service. Alright, we are talking about all those tools. Have you heard the term NGFW? Next generation firewalls. DLP, data loss prevention system. Alright, so we are talking about advanced tools basically. What I mean is, whatever is available in the space of security, we are talking about everything. And we are talking about 90 to 100 hours of engagement. I am not talking about some kind of workshop which will be conducted in 2 or 3 days and then we'll give you an eye wash and we leave. No. What we're talking about here is that at the end of this program, whatever is there in the space of security, whether it could be related to cyber security, it could be related to product security, or any other form of security, we are talking about everything. So you will be exposed to real-time tools, you will be able to use it, you will be able to work on projects. I am not committing for everybody, but we will shortlist few students and we will invite these students to our Bangalore office where the implementation team sits. You can be with the team, you can interact with the end customer. What I mean is, you can help the team to basically implement the security projects. This is what I am talking about in this program. Of course, the internship certificates will come from Inflow. This is just a sample copy of it. Alright? So we are talking about all these things. So the question here is, I think I met your principal around a month ago, and your respective HODs also. And I requested them that I wanted to interact with you people. The question here is why? Why did the college allow me to interact with you people? Because when you are sitting here in this seminar hall, you are actually missing your regular classes. What is the reason? See, when you think from job point of view, I am sure all of you are mature enough to understand that outside competition is very, very high. Correct? AICTE, have you heard this name before? AICTE? AICTE, what they say is, every year, there are close to around 32 lakh students who program. What I'm trying to say here is by the end of 2025-26, whenever you'll be finishing off your engineering, along with you guys, there will be another 32 lakh students who will also be completing their technical program. And if I assume, say, 80% of that data also, close to around 24 to 25 lakh people should be looking for a job. But do we have so many jobs coming in the market? Obviously, no. Now, since we are talking about competition, let me share one article with you. This article, it was published in Times of India, alright? And what it says is TCS hiring drops as growth starters. I hope you know that TCS and Infosys, these are two companies which are known as job machines in India. Means they hire maximum number of freshers every year. One more thing. By sharing this article, nowhere I am trying to say that you are interested in TCS, you are not interested in Infosys. No, nothing of that sort. The only reason I am sharing this article with you so that you can understand that if recession or cost cutting or maybe COVID has impacted the recruitment process of two major IT companies in India, how it could have impacted the other companies as well. Now let me tell you what is written here. TCS, they had this practice of hiring close to 40,000 freshers every year. This was the standard practice. Around 3 or 4 years ago, this was the practice. Every year they used to hire 40,000 freshers. What is written here in this article is last year, during the first 6 months of time, that is from January to June, TCS hired somewhere close to 24,654 candidates. That means out of those 40,000 freshers, what we are talking about, in the first 6 months of time, they hired approximately, let's say 25,000 people. Last year, during the same period, instead of 25,000, they just hired 3,657 candidates. So you can see the drop there, you can see the impact there. It is almost 60-70% drop, maybe more than that. I hope you are aware about one more process. You must be knowing this. Earlier, when campus interviews were being conducted, you may have noticed when students were shortlisted by the companies, they were put into probation period. Do you know this? Earlier, when students were shortlisted, they were put into probation period for 6 months of time. Any idea what happened during those 6 months? Training, exactly. What kind of training? Finally, the platform or tool or technology or the project on which you have to work, they used to train you on that. And after 6 months, they will deploy you on the project. Alright? What I can say is in our terms, in corporate terms, what we say is companies used to maintain bench strength, where they were actually trying to maintain the manpower. Alright, so that when the projects will come, they will have sufficient manpower to work on them. Alright? So what they were doing is they were paying you and they were not expecting anything from you, at least for the first 6 months of time. You may have noticed one more thing. During those time when the probation period or the duration of probation period was 6 months, the average package that was being offered to a fresher was somewhere close to 3.5 or 4 years ago. If you can go back and check with the PNP department, they will tell you. Currently, the average package that is being offered to a fresher is somewhere close to 5.5. But where is the change in approach? This probation what I am talking about. Earlier, the duration which used to be around 6 months, nowadays it is 15 days, some places 1 month, very rarely 3 months, very rarely it is still 6 months of time. So companies nowadays what they say is, we don't have time. Earlier the approach was they will say that we will not pay you more, but we'll give you sufficient time to prepare. And once you are experienced, you can again ask for money, not a problem. Currently what they say is, we have projects, alright? We have vacancies, but we don't have time. But again, what they say is, if you can upgrade yourself, if you can certify yourself and then come to me, I don't mind paying you extra also for that. So the approach has changed. Currently, earlier, money was a problem. Currently, money is not a problem. Time is a problem. So the ball is in your court. What they say is, you prepare yourself and come to me. If you are upgraded, I will pay you more. That's not a problem. Alright, and that's where what we are suggesting you here is think about security space. See, let me tell you something. Some of you can come to me saying that I have already started working on AI and ML. I have already basically chosen analytics as my domain. Some of you are from IoT department. You may come and say that I have already started working on IoT. That's the way I want to specialize. Good thing is I am not asking you to unlearn anything. Let me be very clear. Whatever you are doing, what I suggest is please keep doing that. What I'm suggesting is add a layer of security to it. That's what security does. It will add value to your CV. If you haven't chosen any domain as of now, you are not decided where you want to work, what I suggest is think about security there, only security there. Alright? Because that's the space where a lot of opportunities are coming. Why I am talking about security, let me tell you that also. G20, I'm sure you have heard this name. You know that currently India is holding the G20 presidency. Alright? Let me tell you something. When India got the presidency for G20, one of the objectives or the targets, what I can say, what the Indian government has kept it as a target, that by December 2023, they want that all the students across India, irrespective of whichever department you are from, you should be at least, you should have basic awareness of security. And they have kept this as a target for G20. So all these colleges, universities across India, they received this notification from AICTE, UGC saying that make sure by December 2023, all the students should have that basic awareness of security. Reason I'll tell you this also. You may have heard this news around 19 months ago. You may have heard that a news was there that India by mistake fired a missile in Pakistan territory. Did you heard this news? Yes. Fortunately, it was not a missile, it was only the carrier which carries missile. And fortunately, it landed in Pakistan where population was not there. Alright? And then Indian government issued a basically notification saying that by mistake it was fired. There was no intention of firing a missile. Around 6 or 7 months ago, again government issued a notification. Alright? Saying that we have identified 3 people. One was a colonel, second was a major, and third was the subedar. These are basically 3 ranks in the defense system. They said that these 3 people were identified who committed that mistake, and now what we are doing is, as a correction measure, what we are doing is we are firing these people. Alright? Done and dusted. Understand? Tell me something logical. Today, we are living in technology era. Correct? Is it possible? Is it a coincidence that 3 people commit the same mistake at the same time? Okay, let me give a different angle to it. Is it possible somebody may have hacked into our systems and triggered that missile just to send a message? Let me add a name to it. I'm not saying that they did that. Is it possible China may have hacked into our systems and triggered that missile just to send a message that in terms of technology, we are still far, far, far ahead from you? Possible? Government will never come forward saying that our defense systems were hacked. Because again, that will create a panic situation. But let me tell you what happened after that. After that, government, they are making sure what they are doing is they are conducting a lot of security programs for all the defense personnel, irrespective of their ranks. Idea again is same. You should have basic awareness of security. So that if something like this happens next time, right, you should know what is happening, inform the concerned person so that they can take measures accordingly. And this G20 target, what I am talking about, this was kept keeping in mind that particular view. Alright. Today, tell me honestly, how many of you carry cash? Wherever you want to make payment, you are using UPIs, right? All the information is in a mobile phone. Your banks, your financial transactions, everything is in your mobile phone, right? It has to be secure. Correct? That's the reason I am talking about security. Alright. Now let me tell you suddenly why security became so important. Why? Alright. Let me tell you something. I'll tell you 2 stories. Is it okay? I hope you're not feeling bored. I'll tell you how security became so important. Have you heard this name, Chandrababu Naidu? Yes, he was the Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, combined Andhra Pradesh. Today we say it's APTL, Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. Right? I am talking about year 1998, around 25 years ago, when Chandrababu Naidu was the Chief Minister of combined Andhra Pradesh. Alright? Let me tell you, what PM Modi is talking about currently for India, digital India, Chandrababu Naidu was talking about it 25 years ago, for Andhra Pradesh, of course. I'll tell you, around that time, 97, 98, people used to stand in the queues to pay the bills. So they used to pay electricity bill, water bills. There were no mobile phones. There were landline bills. Alright. So people will stand in the queues and they will pay the bill. So if you have to pay 3 bills, they will stand in the queue 3 times. Alright. Chandrababu Naidu, basically what he wanted was, he wanted to reduce burden. Basically what he wanted was, he wanted a common platform from where people can pay these bills at one shot. They didn't want to stand them in the queues. So there was an IAS officer, his name was Fani Kumar. Currently he is with Home Ministry. Alright. So since Fani Kumar was from Andhra Pradesh, so Chandrababu Naidu called Fani Kumar and he shared this objective with him. This is what I want. This is he said for people of Andhra Pradesh. Alright. And he gave him a team of around 25 highly educated professionals. Their idea was to basically develop a platform through which people can make online payment. I am talking about 1998. Alright. So they took around 2 years time and they developed this platform called eSeva for the people of Andhra Pradesh. Through eSeva, people were allowed to make online payments. Alright. But again, people were very skeptical. If I make the payment online at that time, especially what was happening was money will be deducted and the payment will also not be paid. And they will take around for 2 weeks time, 3 weeks time for the money to come back. And since we were not we were not aware that money, whether it will come back or not. So you go and stand in the banks. My money is not there. What should I do? So people were making every effort. Government was making every effort to send this information that your money is safe. Alright? You can make online transactions. They were making all sorts of advertisements. Currently also they do that. Around the same time, there was a student called Maqsood, again from Hyderabad. Alright? Maqsood basically was 12th pass graduate. Alright? Financially not very sound. Alright? And what he was doing is morning hours he will do some odd works, evening from 7 p.m. to morning 4 a.m. he was studying security on his own, whatever resources were available. Have you heard this term open ports? TCP/IP? Okay, let me put it this way just to make you understand. When we say that your system or your platform is secure, what we mean is there are no open ports. The simplest example what I can give is you use your laptops or mobile phones, audio jack. That is one of the open ports. Right? So when we say that your platform is safe, what we mean is there are no open ports. So when government was making all those noises that this platform is safe, you can make the online payments, what they meant was there are no open ports. Maqsood, the year was 2000. Alright? Somehow he hacked into their systems, eSeva portal, and he identified somewhere close to 112 open ports. The intention was not bad. Alright? So he entered the system, identified those ports, and then came back. So what happens is when you hack into a system, immediately the end customer will not come to know. But after some time, they will come to know. Alright, so these people, this team of Fani Kumar, they realized that systems was hacked. So they wanted to know who did that. It took them almost 1 month to identify Maqsood that this was the guy who did that. So they called him. Alright? They just wanted to know how did he did that. Right? Because as per them it was still secure. There were no open ports. So Maqsood was called and he started speaking. There were close to around 25-30 people in the room. He started speaking. So what happened is when I am talking to you people, when I looked into your eyes, I can understand whether you are understanding or not what I am telling you. Alright. So after 15 minutes, Maqsood, what he realized was the people in the room, they were not able to understand a single point. So he stopped. He said that since you are not able to understand what I am trying to explain, there is no point talking about it. Alright? He left the room. Leave it there. Come to 2020. Where is Maqsood now? Let me tell you, Maqsood is currently still 12th pass. Alright? Where is he? Any wild guesses? Of course, he is not with Pakistan. Let me tell you that. Maqsood currently is working for Chinese government and they are paying him 4.5 lakh rupees per hour. Per hour, 4.5 lakh rupees per hour. This is what security can do. And mind you, 12th pass. Okay? Can I tell you one more story? Okay. The year was 2013. All of us use these online portals, e-commerce platforms, Flipkart, Amazon. That time they were comparatively new, and I remember there were no mobile apps also. We were using basically web form of these e-commerce platforms. All right. So there was an engineering graduate like you. He was from UP. He was able to identify a loophole in Flipkart. So normally what happens is when you do this online purchasing, you follow certain steps. Correct? You choose a product, then you choose a delivery address, you make the payment, and the order is placed. This guy, what he was able to do is, as I said, he identified a loophole in Flipkart system basically. After choosing the delivery address, he was able to skip that payment gateway option. So as and when he will choose the delivery address, immediately the order was placed. And in a span of 45 days, he ordered products worth close to 45 lakhs. I don't remember the exact model, but I think the iPhone 6 was launched at that time. So he placed the order for iPhone 6. Ultimately, he was a student. Normally, what happens is you create login IDs. So every time he was using the same login ID, and the delivery address was same. Right. So when he ordered iPhone, someone in the Flipkart backend team noticed that same login ID, same delivery address, products worth close to 20 lakhs have been ordered. They just wanted to re-verify whether the money has been received or not. And what they realized, not even a single penny has been received. From that time onwards, you may have noticed nowadays also, all these companies, whether you talk about Amazon, you talk about Flipkart, Uber, Paytm, Twitter, what they do is, Microsoft for that matter, they conduct hackathons twice in a year, where they will invite hackers across world and they will ask them to hack into their systems. In fact, recently, if you read newspaper, around 3 months ago, somebody basically found out a loophole in Microsoft. He was paid very handsomely. He was offered a job also. He denied the job. He wanted to be free, independent basically. So companies nowadays, they conduct hackathons. We talk about recession, people are firing. In the last 1 year, Amazon himself, they basically laid off close to around 30,000 employees. But you will be surprised to know they added around 10,000 people in the security team. Right? So this is one area where a lot of opportunities are coming up. I am not saying this. If you have heard about growth percentages, any field you talk about, you will every time you will hear something about 6% to 9%, 12%. When you talk about security space, Labor Bureau, what they say is by 2024, there will be 57% growth in the space of IT security field. This is one area which is coming up like anything. And there's two things basically. Why basically people prefer security. First thing is, I'll give you a human angle. Say for example, if I ask you that sit here, probably we'll need around 5 hours and we have to solve a physics problem. How many of you will be interested? Nobody? I tell you, say for example, we will need around 6 hours, we'll develop an app, and by using that app, you can read the WhatsApp messages of your neighbor. How many of you will be interested? Everybody. Criminal mind, that's what we say. Right? And say for example, if somebody allows you to do that, on top of it, they are also paying you. This is what happens in security. And the biggest advantage with security is there is no prerequisite saying that you should have knowledge of coding knowledge. When it comes to security, there is no need that you should be knowing C or C++ or for that matter, any language. Because here in security, what you do is you use tools that are readily available. What you should know is when to use the logic, you know when to use the tool, which tools to be used, and how to generate the reports. This is what happens in security. This is one area which is comparatively very easy to learn. And a lot of job opportunities are there. NASSCOM, have you heard this name before? All these companies, whatever you can think of where you want to work, registered with NASSCOM. If I go one step ahead, what I can tell you is companies, when they will come for campus interviews, this is decided by NASSCOM only. And NASSCOM, what they say is India will require at least 77,000 ethical hackers every year, whereas we are producing only 15,000 in a year. There are 57,000 positions which are going vacant. See, India, the place, we always go behind what the people do. Somebody comes and says that Java is hot and everybody will start learning Java. And then around 5 years ago, somebody came and said that mobile app development, everybody started learning Android app development. What we need to do is we need to be smart. We have to understand, analyze where the opportunities are. I can tell you something based on my experience. Since I have been working with partners, I know for this for sure. Security is one space which can fulfill almost 50% of the requirements, which is or 50% of the manpower, which is coming out every year. 24, 25 lakh people, what we are talking about, it can absorb almost 50% of those crowd. The only challenge here is people are not aware about the opportunity. People are still running behind AI, ML, ChatGPT, IoT, or any other analytics, all those programs. This is one space where a lot of opportunities are there. Supply is not there. Demand and supply. Do you understand this? I can tell you something. Suppose if there are 10,000 jobs which comes in Java every year, what I can guarantee you is there will be 15 lakh people who will be applying for those jobs. Reason being, more or less everybody learns Java in their academics. So the supply is very, very high. Right? Whereas I can tell you this, suppose if there are 10,000 jobs which comes in security every year, there are hardly 40,000, 60,000, 6,000 people who are applying for the jobs. There are positions which are going vacant. 40% positions are going vacant. People are not aware. And since industry is not ready to prepare, that's the reason you may have noticed nowadays, universities, colleges, they have started coming up as a separate department on security. Because that's where the jobs are, that's where the opportunities are. Since industry is not ready to prepare the manpower, the responsibility is now on the academia to prepare the manpower. That's how they are coming up with separate departments. Alright. Now since I was see, Infosys, what it's saying it is not visible to you. Infosys NSE is eyeing a slice of 5 billion opportunities in the space of cybersecurity. So that's the kind of requirements I'm talking about. At one side, company laying off people, but at the other side, they are adding people in their security department. And good thing is when I talk about security, it is everywhere. As I was telling you, so whether you are a mobile app developer or a cloud professional, web app developer, networking, embedded, IoT, tech support, to talk about any field, security is everywhere. So whatever you are doing, as I said, I am not asking you to unlearn anything. What I am only suggesting you is add a layer of security to it. It will help you add weightage to your basically CV. Alright. Now, how again, as I was telling you, security is important. Have you ever heard about this bank? There is a bank called Cosmos Bank in India, of course. It's a Pune-based bank. You can see here. Pune-based Cosmos Bank loses 94 CR in cyber hack. Alright, read these articles. It will tell you how security became so important. One cyber crime in India every 10 minutes. Heaven. Recently, you may have heard this news that basically communal rights were conducted in Haryana. Still, it is going on. There's a place called Nuh, N-U-H. Any idea what is the source of that? How it all started? What is the objective behind this communal right? It is actually not a communal right. Let me be very honest. Sometime, I'll tell you, 80% of the hackers in India basically are based out of Nuh, this place where this right started. Sometime in the month of April 2023, government conducted a cyber raid where a lot of hardware, software, a lot of information was collected about these hackers. All these proofs, documents, hardware, whatever is available, is basically is in a police station in No, right? The face was given the communal right. The ultimate objective is that they want to destroy that police station. As of now, they haven't been able to do that because a lot of things will come out once it goes to the court. Right? So this is how security became so important. I'll give you one more example. Say for example, now let's talk about this right only, communal right only. Suppose SIT is formed and they are investigating the case and they find out a SIM card there. Obviously, they will try to track in whose name this SIM card was issued. Say for example, they realize that basically a bombing happened in Haryana, a SIM card was found and they tracked that the SIM card was issued in the name of the student who is in EPCET. Say for example, what can you do? See, what I mean is you cannot control these activities. But definitely what you can do is, apart from whatever government is doing, you can apply a few security measures so that if somebody is trying to use your details or your data or your Aadhaar card for that matter or your mobile number for that matter, you should be knowing that I was not informed and somebody is trying to use my number or my data. And then you can secure yourself. Let me tell you something. Security is not about hacking. You may have heard these terms, grey hat hackers, white hat hackers, right? The idea is not hacking. The reason, the first step obviously is hacking. Reason, unless you hack into a system, you won't realize the loopholes in the system. And unless you are aware about the loopholes, you won't be able to secure it. Alright, that's the reason you hack into the system. Ultimate idea is that you should be able to secure it. Ultimate idea of G20 summit or all those things is that you should be able to secure yourself because you cannot control everything. But definitely what you can do is if somebody is trying, a third party is trying to use your details, you should be informed. And based on that, take some corrective measures. That's how security became so important. Aadhaar card, government always says that it is not reachable. This guy, he was able to do it. Again, the intention was not bad. And after this, only government implemented that DLP, what I was talking about, data loss prevention system. There's a company called ForcePoint. They are specialized into DLP and NGFW, next generation firewalls. Alright. So on behalf of Force Point, we did it for government. Alright. Again, hackers stole data from Uber. All these details. You may have come across all these type of news. You may be coming across all these news. Right. Now, in the last 30-35 minutes, continuously I have been telling you that a lot of opportunities are there in the space of security. Now, I know the current generation. I am one among you. You will want to see how many in terms of numbers. So, but the best thing what I could think of was these job portals. What I was trying to basically identify is how many jobs are there in terms of numbers in the space of security. So what I did was I went to various job portals. I have taken the screenshot also. So Naukri, I'm sure you have heard this name. Naukri, what they say is there are close to around 5,737 jobs. Similarly, Shine, what they say is 29,943 jobs. Mind you, I'm talking about fresher jobs. Alright? LinkedIn, what they say is 3,438 jobs. Times again 4,549 jobs. Indeed 7,151 jobs. Again Monster 76,981 jobs. So if I club all these, it will come somewhere close to maybe 2.5 lakh jobs. And mind you, I am only talking about one resource. I haven't considered other resources as of yet. As I was telling you, security itself can cover almost 50% of the manpower. They can absorb 50% of the manpower that is coming out every year. That's the kind of opportunities we have in this basically space. Alright. And that's where this campus to corporate program was designed. As I said, our partners approached us, OEMs approached us, they wanted us to prepare manpower in the space of security. So this program, as I have been telling you, this is known as Campus to Corporate program. The idea here is that we start with basics. Whatever is basically there in the field of security, we should be basically giving you knowledge of all those things. So here we are talking about trainings, we are talking about projects, we are talking about implementation, we are talking about internships. At the end of it, we are talking about measuring the knowledge, certifications. We are talking about everything. And as I was telling you, we are talking about 90 to 100 hours of engagement. We are not talking about 2 days or 3 days of workshop. What we want is, we want to start from basics, and by the time you finish of this program, you should be an expert in the space of security. You should be exposed in whatever tools are there in the market. I'm talking about Kali, I'm talking about paid tools, I'm talking about proprietary tools, I'm talking about third-party tools which are commonly used in the market. I'm talking about everything. And what I also understand is, when I say we are talking about 90 to 100 hours of engagement, it is not possible that I find 90 hours in one particular semester. Even if suppose if I get it, if I bombard with you so much of information, you will not be able to grab it. Alright. So what we decided was, we basically categorize these programs into various stages. Stage 1, 2, 3, 4. That's how we call it. Alright. And we want to start early. We don't want to give you a lot of information at one time. And that's the reason we wanted to interact with second year students, so that you will have sufficient time. Let me tell you, ultimate idea of this particular program is, by the time you enter into 7th semester, by the time you start facing interviews, you should be an expert in the field of security. As I said, so what we did was, we'll start with basically stage 1. We'll cover this stage 1 in second semester, or basically second year altogether. Third semester, fourth semester, whatever you can call it. Alright. So when you are in second year, right, we'll start with stage 1. This is the content for it. Let me tell you, this is purely theory. Stage 1 is purely theory. We know that until and unless your base is ready, we cannot directly expose you to practicals. We cannot do that. So don't expect that in the first meeting itself, we will expose you to the tools. No, that won't be possible. We want you to prepare with, basically, we want to prepare the base. So stage 1, we will start currently when you are in second year. Alright. This will take close to around 15 to 20 hours, and it will be purely theory, where all these topics will be covered, where the base will be prepared. Alright, and we will leave you there. So that if you have to keep working on it, basically, we will be connected with you. If you have queries, you can always come back to us. Then we will answer your queries. When you move to next semester, suppose currently you are in third semester, is it? Second?
Second is going to end.
Fourth semester. Second semester. Okay. So when you are in second semester, we'll cover this portion and we'll leave you there. Next semester, when you come back, sometime in say third semester or fourth semester, we'll give you sufficient time, because we want you to spend time here. Even though it looks 15 hours, there are a lot of things which needs to be covered here. So we'll prepare you the page, we'll give you the content, keep working on it for the next 3-4 months time. If you have queries, come back to us, we will answer your queries, no problem. And then when you are in say 4th semester, let's leave 3rd semester, be prepared for it, no problem. When you come back in 4th semester, then we will start with stage 2. Alright, where slowly we will move to advanced tools. So here we are talking about, you can see, access management, firewalls, vulnerability prevention, MITM, SOC, SOC, NOC, these are basically terms that are used in security. And we are slowly moving to practicals. Okay, let me tell you something. There is something called practical and there is something called practice journey. What is the difference? Let me tell you that also. Say for example, I teach you today something and I leave you. 3 months after 3 months, when I come back to you and ask you a question, you will not be able to answer me. Here, what we want is when we teach you something, after that you should be basically practice on that. So projects and practice journey, what is the difference? I'll tell you. In case of projects, what happens is requirements are given to you. There will be people who will be assisting you to complete that project. Right? Physically, they will be available. Online mode, they will be available. Once we are done with this, then practice journeys will start. Practice journey basically is a form of e-learning platform. Basically, when basically you don't need a separate login, a separate app is not required. You will receive a link in a text message format or a WhatsApp message or basically through an email. All right. You need to click on that link, and all the information or the tools or whatever is required to complete a project will be available there. All right. And you will have to spend 15 to 30 minutes daily for the next 5 weeks once your training is done. Your training and projects will be in offline mode. That means it will be conducted in your college. After this, practice journeys will start, which will continue for next 5 weeks. Every day you will have to spend 15 to 30 minutes as per your availability. Alright? And the difference between project and practice journey is nobody will be there to help you. All the information will be available to you. What we want is you should be able to implement that project yourself. Of course, you are stuck somewhere. There will be people to assist you, but ideally, we will want that you should implement that project yourself. All right. So slowly from theory, we are moving to practicals. So 4th semester will cover with stage 2. Again, practice journey will continue for maybe 5 weeks. You keep on practicing. Queries, come back. We will answer you. We will leave you there. When you move to 6th semester, 3rd year I am talking about, then we'll go to 3rd stage. Here we are only talking about advanced tools. So we are talking about SIEM, we are talking about DLP, we are talking about EDR, XDR, malware analysis. We are talking about advanced tools, and slowly number of theoretical hours are reducing and practicals are increasing. So stage 3 and stage 4, we are purely focused on practicals. Remember when I say labs, practicals, what we call assignments or internship, it is all about hands-on. We are working with tools. Alright, except theory, whatever basically names you see, that means it is hands-on. Alright, so stage 3 will cover this portion, we'll move to practicals, you will be exposed to tools, everything will happen, and we will leave you there. And what I understand is you have basically a project, you have to complete a project, internship. There is a gap between 6th and 7th semester. At that time, you basically go for internships. Then during that time, we will shift to stage 4. Here, we are only talking about practicals. Hardly maybe 5-6 hours of theory. Or else, we are only focusing on practicals. We are talking about all the advanced tools basically. Your internships, your projects, whatever you can think of in the space of security, practicals I am talking about, everything will be covered here. So overall, if you look at this, in a span of 2.5-3 years of time, we are covering 90 to 100 hours. Alright, you are starting from basics, obviously, and by the time you complete your internship program, you will be an expert in the space of security. And you can see here, before starting stage 3, we are talking about a pre-assessment. We are talking about one IKM exam, so that you know your level, we know your level. And at the end of stage 4, we are talking about post-training assessments. That means we are talking about 2 IKM exams here. Both those course sheets you can always attach with your CVs. That will be treated as a measurement tool or certification in your case. Internships will be taken care. The certificates from that will be issued through inflow. So internships will be taken care of itself. Alright. What I mean is whatever is there in the space of security, everything will be covered in these 3.5 years of time. As I said, we'll keep it slow. We'll start now. You will only end by the end of sixth semester, or by before the start of seventh semester, before you start facing interviews, you will be prepared accordingly. All right. This is overall the program. Now coming quickly to the commercial part of it, let me tell you something. First of all, you go outside, you will never find a program like this outside, because this program has been designed purely in keeping in mind the industry requirement. Whatever requirements has come to us, based on that it has been prepared. Still, if you are able to find out, they will be charging you somewhere close to 17,000 plus taxes. Here we are talking about academic pricing. So the price what you have to pay, if anybody is interested, overall in the span of 3.5 years of time, including all the 4 stages, the money what you have to pay is 10,000 plus taxes. This includes everything. This includes everything. All right, from stage 1 to stage 4, your training, practicals, internships, practice journeys, your IKM exams, everything is included in that, and you pay this money in installments. All right, so before start of stage 1, say for example, currently we start with stage 1, the money what you have to pay is 1,000 plus taxes, that is 1180. And fourth semester, when we start with stage 2, before that you will have to pay 2,000 plus taxes. All right, before the start of stage 3, sixth semester, that is 3,000 plus taxes. And before the start of stage 4, again 4,000 plus taxes. If you club all this, it will come to 10,000 plus taxes. What I mean is, over a period of 3.5 years, you will end up paying 10,000 plus taxes. Correct? In case, if somebody says that I want to pay that money at one shot, now itself, you can do that. But again, before you get flat 25% discount there. That means instead of paying 10,000 plus taxes, you pay 7,500 plus taxes. This will include everything. All right. I am sure you will want to see the content and all those things, whatever I have shared with you. So what we'll do is, currently we are not asking you to pay the money. What we'll do is, I just share my number. In case if you have any queries, we can ping me. What I have done is, I have shared 2 links with your college coordinator, Anand sir. I have requested him that we have a common WhatsApp group where all the informations are floated. We have requested him to share both the links in the WhatsApp group. So if anybody wants any information about the program, there is a group, basically WhatsApp group we have created. What I would request is, join that group. We will share all the details of the program in that group. Few more people will be added there. If you have any queries, can you give me 1 second? This is slightly important. Give me 1 second. All right, I'm very sorry. So, anybody who wants any details of the program, basically you can join that group. That will be floated in your WhatsApp group also. You can join that group, and we'll share all the details of the programs, sample certificates, everything. All right. If you have any queries, of course you can ask right now, or you can post your queries in the group also. We will be able to address your queries. All right. And the second link will be the feedback form. What I would want is, if anybody is interested, please fill that feedback form. Once we know whether you are interested or not, then we will inform you when and how to pay the money. Currently, we are not asking you to pay the money. We just want to understand whether you are interested or not. All right. Once we see your interest level, then we will tell you when and how to pay the money. Okay? That's how the program will move. Clear? And of course, I have shared my email ID and number. If in case if you have any queries, you can let me call me. In case if I don't respond, don't worry, just drop a message. Mention your college name. I'll revert back to you. Don't worry. Okay? This is the program. Anybody? Any questions? Anybody? So either you have understood everything or you haven't understood anything. Which one is it? Anyways, that I leave it to you. What I would request is, as I said, college will share 2 links with you. One is the feedback form, and second one is the basically link for WhatsApp group. If you want any details of the program, please join that group. We will share all the details there. All right. Once we start the program, or once we realize whether the we are continuing or not, based on that, we will dissolve that group. Nobody will be calling you. We don't have time for that. Don't worry. Okay. So guys, thank you for your time. Thank you for your patience. Good luck. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, for fueling our thoughts. I deem it a great honor and privilege to propose the vote of thanks on this memorable occasion. Today, I take this opportunity to express my gratitude and appreciation to all those who made this event a grand success. On behalf of Department of CSE EPCD, I would like to thank our chief guest, Mr. Manish Singh, who spared his time from his busiest schedule to grace this occasion. My heartfelt thanks to all the students who attended this event and made a grand success. At last but not the least, I would like to thank all our faculties for their support and cooperation in organizing this event. I request all the students to have tea and biscuits which is arranged outside the hall. Thank you.